Bruce Lerman defamation case. NRL stars, the Premier and police joined forces to tackle youth crime in Moree. 2 people scrambled to safety after a gyrocopter crashes into the water at Lake Macquarie. Our new Governor-General unveiled the second woman ever to fill the role. Sam Kerr's defence team filed her arguments with the London Crown Court. And signs the Newcastle Jets' ownership concerns could soon be resolved. Tonight, claims Channel 7 paid for sex workers and drugs to woo Bruce Lerman for an interview.
The mission to rescue 2 people after a gyrocopter crashes at Lake Macquarie.
Sam Kerr's defence reveal for her racial abuse charge in the UK.
Shoulder to shoulder with police, the New South Wales Premier and NRL stars hit Moree to combat youth crime.
And the winning formula for a happy retirement. New research reveals what works.
This is NBN News with Gavin and Natasha Beyersdorf.
Good evening. Explosive allegations tonight that Channel 7 covered Bruce Lerman's costs for drugs and prostitutes in a bid to lure him for an exclusive interview.
The claims were made in court documents by a former 7 producer and have now reopened Lerman's defamation trial against Channel 10.
A witness in waiting, but Taylor Albach looked dressed ready to party, sporting a see-through black shirt.
Taylor, anything to say? If your evidence is so important, why'd you wait this long?
But was it Taylor? His limo driver at Sydney Airport last night was looking for John Burrows.
How are you, mate? This way, mate.
The name change, though, could not change the line of questioning.
How did you come across the story?
We might have to wait until tomorrow to get an answer when the former Channel 7 producer takes the witness box, armed with evidence that prompted a judge to reopen Bruce Lerman's defamation trial against Network 10.
What's your response to Lerman's lawyers?
Auerbach's role at 7 Spotlight program in June last year was to help the show's executive producer, Mark Llewellyn, lock in Lerman for an exclusive interview deal with the network.
Bruce, you ready?
Let's light some fires.
He now claims in 3 sworn statements that monies paid by Lerman for illicit drugs and prostitutes were reimbursed to him by 7 through per diems via invoice. Auerbach concedes, "I no longer have a copy of this invoice." But he claims to have receipts for Thai massages costing more than $10,000, a round of golf at Barnbougle in Tasmania, meals at Franca in Potts Point, Spice Temple and the Chop House, which included a $361 tomahawk steak, all paid for by 7. Auerbach also alleges Lerman passed on information to the Spotlight program, which for legal reasons was not allowed to be used. Lerman has denied that through his lawyers, but others believe it could leave him legally exposed.
If he did in fact provide this information, which he denies, Channel 10 have said that amounts to an abuse of process.
And he could be charged with contempt. Tomorrow was meant to be Judgment Day in the Lerman Network 10 defamation trial. Instead, the battle resumes with lawyers from Channel 7 entering the ring with their former employee Taylor Albach in their sights after rejecting what they say are his false and misleading claims. Auerbach has been described as a disgruntled ex-employee who held a grudge, posting himself on social media, destroying golf clubs reportedly belonging to former Spotlight colleague Steve Jackson. Damien Ryan, NBN News.
2 men have emerged unscathed after a gyrocopter suddenly ditched in front of horrified onlookers at Lake Macquarie.
The light aircraft appeared to struggle in the moments before it dropped.
Signalling he's okay as his submerged aircraft is brought to shore, the pilot still on board, but only just. Late this morning in clear skies, a gyrocopter plummeting after multiple attempts to lift off.
He seemed to be getting up to speed, virtually ready to take off, and maybe hit a little wave. and just cartwheeled over, nosedive.
Then he swung back around and started sort of heading towards land again. And then he went up a little tiny bit and then hit the water again really hard and just made a big bang noise.
The aircraft coming down at Lake Macquarie's Marmong Point. 2 men in their 50s freeing themselves. One rescued, the other clinging on. A quick save from local boaties also stepping in to salvage the wreck.
Definitely, yeah, because it would have given him a good scare going over like that, you know.
Brought to shore to a welcoming committee, fire and rescue, paramedics and police. Hazmat procedures initiated to prevent leaking fuel. Gyrocopters look like small helicopters, but the rotors are pushed along by air. They're not built to hover, but this one was designed to be amphibious and fitted with floats, but that couldn't help in this sudden drop. The watery landing just 500 metres from shore, potentially the best case scenario for those on board.
Very lucky, yes, it sunk really, really quickly.
Both men treated by paramedics, but emerging unscathed. Ruth Wynne-Williams, NBN News.
The legal team for soccer star Sam Kerr has revealed the framework of its defence against her UK racial abuse charge. The Matildas captain is accused of using insulting or abusive words against a police officer in London on a night out in January last year. Court documents filed today show Kerr's barrister will argue a lack of intent, that Kerr didn't mean to cause distress to the officer involved and her actions were not racially aggravated. The Israeli Defence Force says the strike that killed Australian aid worker Zomi Frankham and 6 others was a mistake.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has tonight joined world leaders putting Israel on notice and demanding to know how the humanitarian convoy came under fire.
The shell of a car carrying hope, help and an Australian. The roof's large branding clearly identifying a charity vehicle. The strike on the convoy, which killed Australian Zomi Frankham and 6 other humanitarian workers inside Gaza, as precise as it was miscalculated. 14,000 kilometres away.
This is someone who was volunteering overseas to provide aid through this charity. This is completely unacceptable.
Anthony Albanese spoke to Benjamin Netanyahu this morning.
I conveyed to Prime Minister Netanyahu in very clear terms that Australians were outraged by this death, by this tragedy.
This happens in war, the Israeli Prime Minister said overnight. We will do everything for this not to happen again.
Prime Minister Netanyahu has committed to full transparency about how this tragedy could possibly have occurred.
From London, UK's leader Rishi Sunak called the strike appalling. US President Joe Biden said he was outraged and heartbroken.
These people are heroes. They run into the fire, not away from it.
The Netanyahu government has to change course. We expect full accountability.
Zomi Frankham was working for the World Central Kitchen. On Sunday, a driver reported coming under Israeli sniper fire. Today, 3 aid ships turned around. Tonight, other aid organisations are considering leaving Gaza.
These people were meant to be safe. These colleagues were doing important work that had been coordinated.
Moments when people had the worst moment of their entire lives, she met them with a smile, she met them with humanity.
The Israeli government admits the strike shouldn't have happened.
It was a mistake that followed a misidentification at night during a war in a very complex conditions. We are sorry for the unintentional harm to the members of WCK.
The multiplicity of such events is the inevitable result of the way this war is currently being conducted.
Just days after the United Nations voted urging a ceasefire, this strike has angered traditional allies of Israel, jeopardising desperate residents of Gaza and innocent Israeli citizens still being held hostage by Hamas.
I think that the global community is very concerned about the death toll that has occurred in Gaza.
Tonight, the world waits for answers.
Charles Croucher, NBN News.
The bus driver accused of causing the Hunter Valley wedding crash that killed 10 people is expected to plead to some of the charges next month. Brett Button appeared in Newcastle local court again today with his case adjourned to allow his lawyers time to obtain a specialist report and to continue discussions with the DPP.
How are you feeling about the charges at this stage?
59-year-old Button is facing 89 charges, including 10 counts of manslaughter. His case will be heard again on May 8.
$1 package to address youth crime, including newly passed bail laws which make it harder for repeat offenders to be released.
And I'm convinced that if we get that balance right, we can reduce the rate of reoffending and crime before it even is committed.
$13.4 million will be spent directly in Moree, welcomed by the local member.
We do have some very serious issues in our community, but we won't fix them by sniping from the sidelines, by being overtly political.
The Premier says today's announcement is just one step in a major intervention to tackle youth crime in New South Wales. But some business owners say it's long overdue.
Oh, hopefully they'll go well. We can set the bar for the rest of the country, hopefully. We'll get some sense back.
Others feel the town of nearly 9,000 residents is being unfairly tarnished.
Why are they focusing on Moree when there's crime everywhere? It's making this town look bad.
Rob Douglas, NBN News.
A woman has avoided jail over her role in a brawl at Swansea, which was live streamed on social media. Carly Jones today pleaded guilty to a fray at Belmont Local Court over the fight in February. The 29-year-old was handed a 12-month community correction order. 2 other women have also been charged. They remain before the courts.
It's been revealed a driver suffered a micro-sleep moments before his bus slammed into a barrier and rolled at Belmont, injuring all 7 passengers. Vladan Televsky lost control just before 4 a.m. on November 13, 2022. According to those on board, the 62-year-old was hitting potholes before the crash, some even describing it as like something they'd never experienced before. Many passengers were thrown from the bus, with one left a paraplegic. Today, Televsky pleaded guilty to 7 charges. Sentencing will begin later this month.
A prison guard has denied assaulting an inmate at a Hunter jail. Jason Brander is accused of attacking the man at Shortland Correctional Centre at Cessnock in January, then threatening him so he wouldn't report it. 46-year-old Brander faced court today, pleading not guilty. His case will be heard again next month.
Singleton landowners are calling for fairer compensation as the state government reviews the process of land acquisitions. Some say they're struggling to afford to relocate to make way for the town's bypass.
It's been labelled a nightmare.
It's the worst experience you could ever have, and I wouldn't wish it on my enemy.
Local landowners today gathering at Singleton to have their say on potential changes to the 1991 Land Acquisition Act.
The options that we've put in the discussion paper, which we're seeking feedback on, is around transparency, consistency and reducing the complex nature of the Act.
The State Planning Department is leading the review, aiming to strike a balance between landowners' rights and delivering public infrastructure, such as trains, roads and energy projects.
Improving genuine negotiation is one, so there's a number of ideas under that key theme. Another is mediation, so rather than escalating and going to court.
It comes as landowners say they were lowballed by the former state government during acquisition deals for the Singleton bypass.
We've been looking, but still just can't afford to buy to replace what we had. I'd like to see the valuers be held accountable for what they put down on that piece of paper.
Frustrated Singleton landowners are hoping the review will result in fairer valuations and an easier acquisition process.
It's not a straightforward thing. It's a painful.
Whatever they take, they need to replace it or the value like for like.
Hunter residents are encouraged to provide feedback online by May 3rd, with recommendations to be made to the government later this year. Amber Griffin, NBN News.
A Sydney man has pleaded guilty over 2 large cannabis busts at Lake Macquarie. Police seized 599 cannabis plants from 2 drug houses at Bonnells Bay and Coorambong in July last year. Today, the 48-year-old pleaded guilty to drug cultivation and using electricity without authority. He remains on bail with his case to be heard in the District Court next week.
Members of the Maitland Greens met with concerned community members today to discuss the future of Walker Waterworks. A petition calling for Maitland Council and the state government to find an alternative location for a caravan park planned for the site has so far garnered more than 4,000 signatures.
A litany of proactive suggestions of how this space could be used in a way that would benefit the future growing community in Maitland.
Council was contacted for comment.
Newcastle's skyline continues to change, with a major commercial building in the CBD finalised to offer more space to office workers. But questions remain over other major developments planned in the city centre as pressure mounts on the construction industry.
It's a name that's towered over the city for months, and today Newcastle-based Alton Property topped out its biggest project yet, Swift on Hunter. Sealing the deal on the 9th storey, 80% of the commercial space in the Hunter Street building has been purchased.
So we've got office suites anywhere between 50 to 600 square metres. Really gives those local small businesses the opportunity to own their own office.
With dozens of local workers still moving between the scaffolding, the project's expected to be complete by September, amid a difficult time for the construction industry.
It's very challenging to get projects out of the ground, let alone topped out and completed, so we're really happy with that.
The completion of the 9-storey commercial building comes as development booms in the CBD, with Newcastle Council approving more than $2 billion worth of DAs in the city in the last 12 months.
And it's really part of this long-term vision we've had to renew the CBD.
The future of other projects remains unclear as costs balloon sector-wide. Council says it still hasn't received confirmation if St Hilliers' $100 million residential high-rise, also on Hunter Street, will go ahead, after the company's construction arm went into voluntary administration earlier this year.
We are still continuing to see this type of development stacking up in Newcastle because of the quality of the market here and the demand in Newcastle.
Lauren Kemp, NBN News.
The region's unemployment rate is dropping according to data analysed by Business Hunter. In Newcastle and Lake Macquarie, it's sitting at around 3.6%, down slightly from January. In the Hunter Valley, it's just over 5%. An additional 11,000 full-time jobs were also added in the last month, with a decline in part-time roles. The labour force participation rate, which measures people aged 15 and over who are in work or looking for it, continues to decline. Right across the region today, well, it was warm, plenty of sunshine, southerly booted in, bringing with it cloud. There is more cloud on the way and rain set to follow. Details coming up later.
You're watching NBN News. Still ahead, a deadly earthquake topples buildings in Taiwan.
Why thousands could soon be cut off from popular weight loss drugs.
The multi-million-dollar investment to help researchers tackle deadly silicosis. That's next.
He was born in Cootamundra in 1899, the youngest of 3 boys. He lied about his age to enlist in 1915, and then he was hit in the leg at Lone Pine. A small price to pay for rescuing a mate. That's the story of my great-uncle Jack, the Anzac. And now his story is part of mine.
There could be more to your story too. Piece it together with Ancestry.
Know you're covered this storm season with hail forecasts at your home address on the GIO app. Plus, start an online claim if your home or comprehensively insured car is damaged. You know with GIO.
I don't know why anyone comes here, it's just so quiet.
Quiet your mind mouth with extra gum. Chew you good.
Reverse parking. That's a thing. That is not a thing. Finishing a flat pack. Thing. Mars, for you who did that thing you did.
The Murray-Darling rivers pump life through our nation, supplying 1/3 of Australia's food. But water's being overused, and the next drought is only a matter of time. Find out how the Australian government's plan will restore the Murray-Darling rivers. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
With Macca's Surprise Fries, peel any medium or large fries for a chance to win a prize. And scan your large fries for a second play. Don't miss your 1 in 4 chance to win.
They say, good things come to those who wait. Turns out.
Quick sachets half price this week at Woolworths.
She was like, where did you get your shot?
Energy from Chemist Warehouse. The world's most tested energy multivitamin, Barocca is packed with every day. Barocca 60s are just $19.99 at Chemist Warehouse. Available in orange, original berry, rather Chemist Warehouse.
At Spotlight's Easter bargain sale, save a massive 20 to 50% off everything store-wide, including all Manchester home decor, fabric, sewing, craft, party, curtains and blinds. Yes, that's 20 to 50% off everything store-wide. Sale on now. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
When my marriage fell apart, I felt totally helpless. And I thought I only want to go through this once, but I want a lawyer who's been through this hundreds of times. Bale Boschev's advice was spot on.
Get it sorted. Call Bale Boschev Lawyers.
At least 4 people are dead and many more are missing after Taiwan was struck by its most powerful earthquake in 25 years. The tremor putting multiple countries on tsunami alert.
At 7:58 local time, Taiwan was shaken awake. Books sent flying from their shelves. Peak hour traffic grinding to a halt. And breakfast television interrupted. The 7.4 magnitude quake was the strongest in a quarter of a century. The epicentre, approximately 18 kilometres south of Hualien City, where more than 20 buildings collapsed. Onlookers speechless as this building teetered precariously. A cherry picker quickly wheeled in to try and get residents out. The first floor of this apartment block crumpled. Neighbours helped children to escape from the floors above. Taiwan is used to being rocked by earthquakes. It sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire. Train services across the island, home to 23 million people, were suspended. A series of aftershocks reached as high as magnitude 6.4. Landslides injured at least 9 and triggered terrifying scenes. Major roads enveloped in a plume of thick dust. The quake was felt as far as Shanghai and prompted the familiar drone of the tsunami warning system in Japan and the Philippines, a threat which thankfully passed. Alison Petrowski, NBN News.
An Australian tourist has died in Bali after a freak accident at a beach market in Sanur. 77-year-old Rita Lubin was holidaying with her son when she lost her footing on a flight of stairs and fell through a glass shop door.
A fire at an Istanbul nightclub under renovation has killed 29 people. The club operated in the basement of a 16-storey apartment building in the Turkish city. It's believed all victims were construction workers. At least 8 people have been detained as police investigate.
Former NRL player Jarryd Hayne is fighting to overturn his rape conviction, launching a Supreme Court appeal today. Hayne's lawyers argue messages deleted on the victim's phone amounted to concealment of evidence. Hayne was found guilty in a 3rd trial last year and sentenced to more than 5 years jail.
As the ban on engineered stone looms closer, experts say there's still a lot of work ahead to help the increasing number of young workers afflicted with deadly silicosis. The New South Wales government today committed $5 million to investigate ways to better diagnose, treat and help patients.
Ken Parker is only 48, and yet the former stonemason is fighting a progressive lung disease that could have been prevented.
Roughly 18 years I worked in the stone industry, and I think 16 years of that, roughly, that I was working with engineered stone.
On the right, you can see his lungs irreversibly damaged from silicosis, making it harder for Ken to breathe and perform simple tasks. Today, he accompanied the state's Minister for Work, Health and Safety on a tour of this Concord facility, a world leader in dust disease research, as $5 million in funding was announced.
This support is going to help families, but it's also going to help how we can navigate this disease.
One of their goals is to develop a blood test, a screening tool to pick up the disease much earlier.
If you can pick it up early, then you can remove people from further exposure.
Or don't realise they have it.
Firstly, as it has gone up, and secondly, the background cases that have not been discovered are now being discovered because of the better awareness.
Gabriella Rogers, NBN News.
Tens of thousands of Australians could soon be denied pharmacy-made weight loss medication under a proposed ban. The Therapeutic Goods Administration is considering a ban of replica versions of Ozempic, which were previously allowed without the same testing as brand name medications due to global demand. The regulator has raided 2 pharmacies as it investigates breaches of drug compounding rules.
It was another warm autumn day, but cloud is now increasing ahead of a significant wet weather event. The nation is largely clear of cloud, but a deepening trough over Queensland is beginning to intensify. This trough line will draw large amounts of moisture from onshore winds. Tomorrow, the cloud cover will increase further and the rain will begin to fall, falling over northeastern New South Wales and southeast Queensland before spilling south across the entire region. Light to moderate periods of rain before heavier falls build, particularly into Friday, which may cause localised flash flooding. Large accumulations are expected.
Coming up next, we speak exclusively to the hunter man cleared of killing his fiancée 40 years ago.
Sparks fly as a plane makes an emergency landing on the Gold Coast.
And the winning formula to a happy retirement. That's next.
Come on, let's go. Hold on, mate. Come on, time to go!
Progress is the power to transport you to another place, to create a feeling that transcends words. And once you've experienced it, it leaves you transformed. The Audi RS6 Avant Performance. Excite the senses.
Love it, love grey.
You are my best friend. Replenish skin with Nivea Q10 anti-wrinkle day and night creams, $13.99 each at Chemist Warehouse. Nivea's Q10 and creatine formula visibly reduces wrinkles in 7 days. Live, look, feel fabulous at Chemist Warehouse.
The Maya mid-season sale is now on with great deals across the store. Shop up to 50% off a range of women's, men's and kids fashion and homewares. While stocks last, prices are smart.
Maya, my store.
Powerball. Play by your own rules.
Rough cold, bro. Try Vicks Vapor Drops extra strong. Up to 3 times more menthol. How's the nose and throat?
Vicks Vapor Drops extra strong.
Head into your local IGA this week for mega deals like Cadbury Favourites and Toblerone Pralines, $8 each, half price. And Ready Chef 2 kilo lasagna, $12 each. That's just $2 per serve. Specials across the store right now, only at IGA.
Come on, let's go. Hold on, mate. Come on, time to go!
$3.95. Go buckets. Great shout.
Weather alert. A severe storm rapidly approaching from the west.
You're watching NBN News. These are our top local stories. A gyrocopter has crashed while taking off at Lake Macquarie. 2 people on board rescued by boaters nearby and were uninjured. Flanked by NRL stars, the New South Wales Premier today launched a program designed to address youth crime in the regions. Big River Group is celebrating a $22 million upgrade to its Grafton manufacturing facility, securing jobs. The SES has partnered with the University of Technology in Sydney to see if 5G networks can help predict future flood events. And still a long way to go before the federal election. The Liberal Party has endorsed business owner Brendan Small to run against incumbent Emma McBride in the seat of Dobell.
A light plane has made an emergency landing at Gold Coast Airport after its landing gear failed mid-flight. The Beechcraft 58 Baron ran into trouble around 8 last night, circling the airport before turning power off and landing.
It was a belly-up landing, so one of the landing gear had reportedly failed, and the pilots have elected to obviously land that aircraft without any landing gear. It was quite a spectacular sight to see.
The Bureau.
A Hunter man accused of murdering his fiancée 40 years ago has had his charge dropped in a Melbourne court. Peter Wetzler has spoken of his relief, saying it's been a long time coming.
The relief of a man cleared of killing his fiancée.
Shut your eyes.
Peter Wetzler and his wife digesting the news. He's free. 40 years since 21-year-old Deborah Campbell vanished.
It was a great weight off my shoulders, was about it. It's all still sinking in.
I knew he was innocent, so to see this happen to him was so unfair.
Wetzler was charged last year, his lawyer arguing ever since the case against him was weak. Today, the Office of Public Prosecutions agreed.
It's a case that was never going to succeed. It was a case that was doomed to failure.
Peter was engaged to 21-year-old Deborah in 1984. They were in the Air Force together when one day in February, she vanished.
She just got out of the car, walked turned around the doorway and disappeared.
Deborah Campbell was last seen here on High Street in Windsor the day she disappeared. Peter had dropped her home and admits they'd had an argument, but insists he was never violent.
For a long time, I just thought that she would come back.
Peter spent 5 weeks in jail waiting for bail and had to fork out tens of thousands for his defence. He'll now fight to have Victoria Police repay him.
Lost my job. We've had to sell the house.
Deborah's family may never get answers from a justice system the Wetzlers say they've lost faith in.
Prior to this, I always thought that the police were the good guys. And now I don't.
Laura Turner, NBN News.
Finland is observing a national day of mourning after one child was killed and 2 others wounded in a school shooting near Helsinki. A 12-year-old student is the only suspect. He's in police custody.
A new Australian-made flu vaccine is now available, which uses cell technology instead of the traditional way of manufacturing the vaccine in a chicken egg.
This is the first year that we'll have a cell-based vaccine listed on the National Immunisation Program. It's really exciting news because it means that more people will be able to access this vaccine than ever before.
People aged 5 to 64 at higher risk of flu complications are eligible for the jab under the National Immunisation Program.
She's trained as a lawyer and climbed the ranks of major companies like Optus. Now, Samantha Mostyn has been named Australia's 28th Governor-General, just the second woman to take on the role. She'll succeed David Hurley in July.
Now, with the day's finance, here's Chris Kohler.
It's being explained by analysts as investors taking a bit of profit off the table after a very strong start to the year. But whatever the reason, it was an ugly day on the market. The big 4 banks all lost more than 1%. The supermarkets also fell, but Telstra bucked the trend. It's not all negative, of course. The price of gold touched new record highs this week, so investors are still keen there. And the Aussie dollar nudged its way back above 65 US cents, also buying 60.5 euro cents and 51.8 British pence.
It can be a source of stress, but the majority of Australians say they're happy in retirement. A new survey reveals what the winning formula looks like to make sure the path to putting your feet up is a smooth one.
For 47 years, they've been a perfect match, even down to their names, Kerry and Terry Cavendish.
Everywhere we go. How cute. How cute.
Since wrapping up work, they've travelled far and wide.
That's a good photo, isn't it?
Devoting time to their 6 grandkids, 3 fur babies and vintage cars.
This is our dream.
Living the dream is more common than you'd think. A YouGov survey of more than 1,000 Australians commissioned by Challenger showed an average happiness rating of 70 out of 100. Activities brought the most joy, followed by mental well-being, a sense of purpose and social connection, while money and physical health ranked the lowest.
We just need to ensure that financial security comes to more Australians.
If you don't understand the systems, you will have a natural fear of even looking at your super statement.
The rising cost of living is shifting the goalposts on how much Australians think they need to retire. 2/3 of those surveyed say it's had an impact on their financial security, while 38% say they're worried they'll run out of money.
It creates uncertainty today for people who are trying to manage to live on a budget.
But underspending is also a risk to living retirement to the fullest.
Underspending is the same as under-retirement.
Oh, I might have one of these meals and...
News.
Oh, they seem very happy.
They look very happy. Nice wave.
All right, stay busy. Let's check in now with sport. Sophie Scanlon joins us.
Soap Daily, Cherry Evans feeling a bit uncomfortable becoming...
Sophie Scanlon joins us.
Soap Daily, Cherry Evans feeling a bit uncomfortable becoming Manly's game record holder.
Well, he feels like an imposter surpassing the great Cliffy Lyons. Coming up, the Manly skipper also reveals how that infamous Gold Coast backflip helped make him the player he is. Also ahead, the night's British import weighs in on Newcastle's latest halves pairing.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, very well, thank you.
That's great. I'm just going to put all your frozen's in the one bag for you.
Thank you.
I'll just put the eggs aside so I can get those in on top.
Thank you.
And the oranges. That comes at $35.50. Okay, thank you for picking all these.
Thanks.
I am really impressed with the way you packed all that away. You can do the same with your clothes when you get home tonight.
Okay, Mum.
Packed with pride. That's today's fresh food people.
In Paris, 2 tips of a moustache hang sadly, for the artist's great work was going so badly. But thankfully, his muse had a Red Bull to lend, and the artist's great torture met the finest end.
Effortlessly refreshing. Byron Bay Brewery Premium Lager. Go with it.
What are you risking on?
Vapor Drop's extra strong.
Meet Nicole. I was told that I had plantar fasciitis. Everything changed when she got fitted for Good Feet arch supports. Within a week or 2, I noticed such a difference. See if arch supports can help you too at the Good Feet store.
Transform your outdoor living area with a touch of a button. Adjust louver rotation, retract open to any position, or close completely for maximum protection with Patio World's new Shade Light retractable opening roof.
Say hello to your new mobile at Harvey Norman with a huge range of 4G and 5G brands. Now's the time to upgrade with great deals on 4G mobiles starting from just $79. Or get your hands on a super fast 5G mobile with prices starting from as low as $299. Our mobile experts can get you connected in-store today or shop our huge 4G and 5G mobile range online. Upgrade your mobile now at Harvey Norman.
Daily Cherry Evans says he feels like...
Dean!
Things could have been so different for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, hardships. That whole contract saga was a part of the hardships of me.
So what is it that needs...
Tips of me, I look back on it, quite fondly now because of what it did to me. It really steeled me. I guess I don't really look back and think what could have been because so much great stuff has happened since then.
The skipper, no stranger to the spotlight, but feels uncomfortable overtaking Cliff Lyons.
There's a part of me that does feel a bit of imposter syndrome passing someone like Cliffy Lyons because of what he's done in the game, and having not done as much as him, there's a reason why he's in the Rugby League Hall of Fame. He's a legend of the game. He's the sort of bloke that's even at times, egged me on and just said, go on mate, go and pass it, get after it.
Despite the Sea Eagles' shock loss to the Dragons, the Panthers have put pressure on the home side ahead of Saturday's showdown.
At their best, they're just about better than anyone in the comp at the moment, Manly. The pack they've got's really, really big, really physical, but then their ability to shift the ball to their speedmen on the outside, I think the way that they played against the Roosters really sort of showed that.
Isaiah Yeo and Dylan Edwards helped launch Telstra's Footy Country series today as the game prepares to take 10 NRL and NRLW games to 9 regional locations over the next 5 months. Zach Bailey, NBN News.
Kai Pearce-Paul says that the halves at shake-up adds a level of excitement to the night side. With wet weather predicted on Friday night, it looks like the British import will be feeling right at home against the Dragons. Training in the sunshine, Kai Pearce-Paul is finding his feet in Newcastle.
I say I'm adjusting week in, week out. I'm sort of building my game and sort of adding more and more to my sort of game as well.
Joining him back in the starting lineup, Jackson Hastings is firing on all cylinders after his 2-round stint in the New South Wales Cup.
Jacko's he's handled it pretty well actually. He sort of just took a step back and obviously let whatever happens, and he's fitted back in like a glove. It's not hard to get along with Jacko for me because I've played with him before. Jack Cogger will join him in the halves. This combination is the third we've seen from the Knights this season. I wouldn't say it's unsettling at all. It's quite exciting really. It's sort of something different to look forward to each week, and I just know that each half I play with him is going to be a good half.
Newcastle is 1 win from 4, now determined to make it 2. There is more on the line on Friday night against the Dragons. A win would also allow them to keep the Alex McKinnon Cup.
We know Lomax is a big kick target, so just getting around the ball and just getting on the front foot.
Zach Lomax is believed to have met with the Eels today after has recovered from a knee injury and will line up against West Coast in Adelaide in the AFL's version of Magic Round.
What he says at different times during the training sessions, during the games that he's played for us in the scratch matches so far, just adds to the value that he brings to the group, and you can see the group learning off him.
Still to come, Tottenham miss out on a chance to move in to the top 4.
Protect your number one mate with Australia's number one, NexGuard Spectra. It's the most complete protection against fleas, ticks, mites, worms, and even heartworm, all in one tasty chew. NexGuard Spectra.
Waiting for a train to pass might cost you a few minutes of your time. But consider what you could lose if you ignore the signals and don't stop.
Rooster's calling. New rule. Chicken rolls. The Red Rooster Ripper Range.
It's days like these, rediscovering a new freedom, a new time for friends and fun, finding new creative expressions, living in a luxury home in a luxury world-class resort. The time to look after myself and finding myself again and again. This is my time at Palm Lake Resort.
A great night's sleep can make all the difference. It can be the difference between having dreams and making them come true. A great night's sleep, night after night after night. That is the difference. difference is temper.
Every minute.
Every game. All season long.
Play your part at nighttop.com.au.
Are you thinking al fresco and looking for something simple? Call HV Aluminium.
Are you looking for something stylish? Call HV Aluminium.
Or are looking for ideas to design something stunning?
If you're thinking al fresco, call or visit HV Aluminium New Lambton, 1800 801 572.
What happened to you, mate, who could get us into members?
Alan, come with me.
The Ladbroke Racing Club is giving you the ownership experience. Follow a stable of over 30 runners with updates from leading jockeys and trainers. Be part of the excitement as our runners hit the track. Ready to feel like an owner? Join the Ladbroke Racing Club today. It's fast and easy. You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
This report brought to you by Ladbrokes. Take on the fun and Ladbroke it. You win some, you lose more.
A top score of 7 on the opening wave of the men's final has helped Cole Hashman edge out Griffin Colapinto at the Bells Beach Pro. In the women's, Caitlin Simmers left it to the last 14 seconds to beat Joanne Defay. And Postecoglou's Tottenham have blown a chance to move back into the Premier League's top 4. Spurs took the lead against West Ham after 5 minutes, but gave up their advantage, settling for a 1-1 draw. Tottenham sits 5th, 2 points behind Aston Villa. Just over 2 weeks ago, the Newcastle Jets were given an ultimatum by the APL to find a new owner. This morning, fans were given their first sign things could be changing. The club's CEO spotted addressing players and staff at training.
It's not every day the Jets get a visit from CEO Shane Matisky, addressing players and staff before they hit the pitch at Maitland to warm up. It's unknown what was said in that meeting, but it's the first sign in weeks the club's future could be on the up. Even so, players have maintained their focus is simply on themselves.
As a playing group, we've kind of put the marker in the sand that we want to just focus on the pitch and let all that stuff off the pitch take care of itself.
The Jets aren't in contention for finals, but can still disrupt other teams' campaigns, with top-of-the-table clashes in 3 out of their next 4 matchups.
We versed in Wellington and Mariners in the last 2 games of the season, so that'll be pretty cool to sort of win both of those. And you never know, we can upset the table a bit, but yeah, we've shown we can beat any sort of team, and even if we can't, we put up a good fight.
Costa Grosso says those are the games the side thrives in. The first at home this Sunday against Sydney FC.
They have weaknesses, so we look to punish them in those areas.
Kickoff is from 5:15. Montana Claire, NBN News.
The Waratahs women have had an unbeaten start to the season, and one person has been doing their fair share. Nelson Bay's Maya Stewart has notched 7 tries in her first 3 games. The humble winger, though, says all credit goes to the forward pack.
I think for us the main focus is just each game is such a short season, it's easy to be carried away by that bigger picture at the end, but I think just taking each game as they come and getting the win there, and then hopefully that plays out to a super exciting international season.
The Waratahs take on Western Force on Saturday night at 6. Opening their Australian Ice Hockey League season against the Goodall Cup runners-up won't be an easy feat, but the Newcastle North Stars are confident a sold-out arena on Saturday night will make all the difference.
There's no better start to the North Stars season that skipper Liam Manwaring can think of.
A sold-out game on a Saturday at Newcastle to start the season, I don't think you can get any bigger or better for us, and it's going to be huge.
Not daunted by the threat that last year's runners-up Canberra Brave pose.
I think it's the best case situation. You right away start the season off on a good opponent, so
you know what's coming after that.
The Newcastle side has just one focus come Saturday.
Overall, as a squad and as a group, our main goal is first to make the playoffs, and that starts round 1 this weekend.
The North Stars chasing their first Goodall Cup since 2016, and the night will have added meaning for some young guns stepping up to fill the team's gaps.
There's some guys in the room that will never forget this one, right? You get this opportunity to not only play for the North Stars, but do it at home in front of a packed out crowd against Canberra. There's Malik West. His father had a long time with the club as well. There's also Drew Robson coming from Perth to join us this year. And obviously we still have Mackenzie Gallagher and Hunter Ellen.
We've been waiting for a while here, so it's been a long summer, but we're ready to go and very excited.
The puck drops at 5 p.m. on Saturday. Montana Claire, NBN News.
All that's left to say is bring on Saturday.
Yeah, they've got a big following, don't they? For good reason. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Soph. Well, we've got a lot of weather to get through before Saturday. Details next. Stay with us.
This is how I made my very first mocktail. Yes! With the help of the Google app. After realising I had no idea what I was doing.
What's a jigger?
All I had to do was take a photo of anything I wasn't sure of and pop it in the app.
That's the jigger.
I even figured out how to work this bubble gun by snapping a photo and then adding how to use to the search.
Nobody breathe. I feel like I'm about to pick up a Taipan.
More ways to search. Download the Google app for iPhone.
Okay, so let's go over the plan one more time. So do I cut the leaves down or do you?
You know, for cutting hedge technology, you're not very sharp.
Fair point. So do I cut the leaves down or do you?
Might attend the other hardware store.
Want great hair every day without the everyday wash and blow dry? Batiste Dry Shampoo from Chemist Warehouse is #1 for a reason. It refreshes and restyles hair. Brush to add volume, texture and fragrance. Batiste Dry Shampoo, $6.84 each at Chemist Warehouse. Try new Batiste 24-hour active and 24-hour fresh for bursts of freshness for 24 hours. Live, look, feel fabulous at Chemist Warehouse.
System batteries branded LG, LG Chem, and some Solax products. Affected batteries may overheat and catch fire. Even if you have checked before, please check again.
Remember, stay focused. We're just here for a tow while. Wait a sec. Hilux is in stock. Oh.
Find your O at your local Toyota dealer with Hilux stock available now. Toyota.
Dad, have you seen the boat keys? Nope.
You should have gone to Specsavers. Book an eye test today. It's days like these, rediscovering a new freedom, living in a luxury home, in a luxury world-class resort. This is my time at Palm Lake Resort.
At Mojo, our homes now come with 7-star as standard. Plus, we're also including a huge $65,000 cash discount. So if your builder isn't offering 7-star as standard, visit Mojo Homes today.
On now, Harvey Norman's super deals on Bosch. Get a bonus gift card plus bonus local delivery with the Bosch Series 4 8kg washer, only $7.99. Or step up to the German-made Series 8 washer with Allergy Plus bonus $70 gift card and bonus local delivery. Bosch Series 6 dishwasher, super deal with bonus gift card, bonus finish pack and bonus local delivery. Bosch Series 4 pyrolytic oven, only $12.99 plus bonus $65 gift card. Limited time only. Bosch super deals at Harvey Norman.
Go!
Well, today was the last of the sunshine for some time. We have quite a significant wet weather event building from here on in. Details in just a moment. Let's go to Newcastle Beach, across the canoe pool. You get some amazing sunrise colours there. When that sun cracks the horizon and you look back towards the buildings and the sun's light hits all of the windows, it really can be quite spectacular. Thank you again for that shot, Ursula. The past 24 hours, that rain band moved through. Said last night it was the beginning of this wet weather event, so that has passed by, but it left behind this trough line. Now, cloud along this is going to intensify rapidly from here on in, overnight and throughout.
Oh, you've already defrosted one. That's good.
As this event, and we may see some lows form along that trough line, intensifying the winds particularly on Friday, and that's when this system is going to peak with the potential for localised flash flooding, maybe broad scale flooding as well. So cloud increasing right east, still fairly cool in the southeast and for Adelaide, lovely and comfortable for the Alice, still hot in the west, settling down a little. Tropics, we still manage 26, 27 degrees throughout today. Generally the mid-20s, the theme off across the suburban areas. There's that onshore influence I'm talking about, feeding that trough line. You can see temperature-wise on the thermal.
I'll probably just throw it out there.
It's probably, yeah.
Overnight, because the cloud cover, which will cool the situation, and then the rain is going to start. So we've got light to moderate patchy fall potential throughout tomorrow, beginning to build, and that is going to intensify as we move into Friday. So we've got a fairly mild night, 16s, 17s, and then low 20s at best throughout tomorrow, with virtually no sunshine from here on in, with the wet weather beginning to build, light drizzle, patchy showers turning into patchy rain periods, and most of the region is going to see rain, and don't we need it throughout the valley, Merriwa still, and right throughout that line, particularly from Singleton, Jerry's Plains, but inland areas all are looking forward to this event. Let's just hope it's not too much and doesn't flood your property, so be aware. Swell building to 2 metres there, so that will be getting somewhat messy and ugly offshore. The sun's up late, throwing some cloud cover. It's going to be quite dark tomorrow morning. We've had some very foggy mornings as well, but yeah, it is going to be quite a dark start. Of course, daylight saving finishes on Sunday. Tomorrow it's an early high tide, 5 a.m, so we're dropping to the low, getting there just before midday. Swell building to about 2 metres, southerly swell, 9 seconds wave period. And look at the numbers building. Yes, there is the potential for 100 millimetres in this system accumulated over the couple of days, and then clearing as we move into the weekend. Potentially as early as Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, it'll start to really back off. So the worst of it is going to be Friday inland, but we really need that rain to fall where it is needed. You can see heavier falls likely towards the coast and eastern areas. Let's go to the surf. Well, it's all going to be changing from here on in. We had the southerly boot on in during today, and from here on in, howling onshore winds, devil winds straight into it, lots of cloud cover, and it's not going to be great surfing weather. The season of change is finally changing.
It certainly is. Well said. Thanks, Gav. Well, finally tonight there's a recall for more than 52,000 Honda cars. 9 models, including the Civic, Jazz and Odyssey, made between 2017 and 20. Fuel pump issues, which might cause the engine to stall while driving. Affected owners will be contacted by mail. And that is NBN News for this Wednesday. A current affair is up next, and we'll have updates throughout the evening.
So thanks for your company from all of the NBN team once again.
Good night.
Good night.
Hello, I'm Ali Langdon. Welcome to A Current Affair. Coming up, Molly the magpie, a breakthrough for the bird that's captured the world's attention.
You got some news about Molly, I hear?
Yes, we actually had a phone call. But first, returning home from a long day at work, all you want to do is put your feet up. But when Karen opened her front door, chaos. Debris everywhere, her belongings destroyed after her ceiling came crashing down. Things got even messier when she tried to make an insurance claim.
You don't expect to walk home and have your beautiful home completely destroyed.
home sweet home to disaster zone.
All my pictures on my walls had fallen down, the TV was half hanging off the wall, vases were broken, all my beautiful belongings just completely destroyed.
You'd be forgiven for thinking this was some kind of explosion.
It's just something that you would never think would happen in real life.
Destruction, the only way to describe the scene that greeted Karen Jordan when she opened her front door last month.
I started screaming, like I just could not believe what I was seeing.
When Karen left for work early that morning, the ceiling was above her head. When she returned later that afternoon,
you couldn't even walk in. There was just gyprock ceiling and insulation and debris everywhere, all over the kitchen table, all over the kitchen bench.
About this home.
So basically head height with you?
Pretty much, yep.
Karen's daughter Taylor recording these videos detailing the extent of the damage. Thankfully, no one was home when it all came crashing down.
Hey, welcome, hey. The first thing I noticed was all the aircon vents, they were all hanging down, not to mention there was all electrical wires hanging down as well. So that was probably the most scariest part, was that was loose electrical wires everywhere.
Karen contacted her insurer, Allianz, which sent a cleaning crew to remove the mountains of gyprock and insulation and install a temporary ceiling. But believe it or not, this is when the real mess started.
I thought I'd be covered for all the repairs to the ceiling, the repairs to the walls, and of course my contents. I had no idea that I'd end up in a battle with them.
Despite taking out a home and contents insurance policy with Allianz, Karen says her insurer has wiped their hands of responsibility, deeming the collapse an uninsurable event.
I was just in shock. I mean, how could they not cover us? I pay insurance. That's why you pay your insurance for every year.
According to a builder's inspection report commissioned by Allianz, the main cause of the ceiling completely delaminating from its fixing points is due to incorrect plasterboard sheet installation. Karen's insurer rejecting her claim on the basis no insured event has resulted in damages to your property, no rainwater entry was observed, and the damages are as a result of poor workmanship, depreciation, gradual deterioration, wear and tear. But what's got Karen ready to hit the roof is this building and pest report from 5 years ago, which states the interior walls and ceilings are generally in good condition.
I did trust the building and pest report. I mean, that's what you do. If it comes back that it's all good, of course you believe it. As I said, there's no way I could have predicted any of this would have happened. It's insane.
I think it's always critically important to get a second opinion completely unrelated to the insurance company.
David Keane is from Solve My Claim.
My first question would be back to the insurance company. If they say that this is defective works, I want to know what is the defect, what is the Australian standard or the National Construction Code standard that has been breached, because it's not good enough for them just to say, oh, this is defective.
For now, the family are left with a tarp over their heads.
She's waited 4 weeks. She's been living in this house for 4 weeks with the roof looking like this for 4 weeks, and they just don't care.
It's noisy, it's cold, it's hot. As soon as it starts to rain, it sounds like a freight train's coming through the house. It just doesn't feel like home anymore.
Making matters worse for Karen, Allianz has now pulled the pin on her home and contents cover for any future incidents until she pays to fix this damage out of her own pocket.
I'm really angry. It's like, where's their compassion? We're living in this. I pay insurance every year.
How much do you estimate all of this is going to cost to fix?
Tens and tens of thousands of dollars. I have no idea. I have no idea, and I don't know how I'm going to pay for it.
In a statement to A Current Affair, Allianz Insurance said,
"The damage was not caused by an event covered by the policy, such as a storm, fire, earthquake. The cause of the damage was a combination of wear and tear, gradual deterioration, and poor defective workmanship."
You never know what's around the corner, and that's why you pay insurance. I'm just a normal family, go to work every day, struggling to make ends meet, and I just need their help, and I'd like them to have a bit of compassion.
That poor woman, it's a lot to deal with, isn't it? Well, he's the fleeing fencer who gave us a spray. Brendan Hawkswell has no problem taking deposits, but when it comes to building fences, he's nowhere to be seen. Since we exposed him, the list of angry customers has grown even longer. And now, we're not the only ones on his case.
How does it feel knowing that your dodgy dealings have now caught the eye of the Attorney General? The Attorney General is calling you out, Brendan Hawkswell.
He's a despicable individual and he should be held accountable for what he's doing.
How would you describe Brendan Hawkswell?
Scum of the earth, basically.
What the hell did he do with all of our money?
Brendan Hawkswell doesn't build a fence well. He got angry with us when we confronted him at this RBT.
Brendan Hawkswell.
And this time we faced off with the fleeing fencer at court.
Brendan, you've left your water bottle at home today. Lucky me. You've let a lot of people down. Do you remember this face?
I think you might build my mother's fence or anyone else's. Brendan claims to run Brisbane's #1 fencing and decking company. But there's a growing list of people he has unfinished business with, like Jane, who wants answers, and she's come to court to try and get them.
There are so many people that this has affected. It's not just one, it's not just two, it's so many people. Pay everyone back. Everyone. And stop what you're doing.
You might remember Jane from our first story. She's a full-time carer for her elderly mum who just wanted a new fence around her Gold Coast home.
My mother has stage 4 cancer, and so we wanted the colour-bond fence to give her some privacy and security at this time.
Brendan promised her just that. She paid him an $8,000 deposit. He tore down her fence and never returned. Today was the first time she's come face to face with Brendan again.
It is, it's really hard. It's really hard to see him. He doesn't care. He doesn't care at all.
But he's not facing court over his dodgy business dealings. He pleaded guilty for driving unlicensed and suspended when we found him with police.
He's also facing another 11 unrelated charges: possessing dangerous drugs, weapons, even native animals suspected of being unlawfully taken, and breaching his duty of care to those animals.
We're another one that's been caught because he's very good. He's very good.
Brisbane mum Claudine says the excuses and delays Brendan gave all make sense now.
Now, because of your show, we find out and can't get a hold of him. Vanished with our $10,000.
10 grand down the drain, and unfortunately there's many others in your position.
Yeah, it's really sad. So without you guys getting the word out there, someone needs to get a hold of him so that he knows that you can't keep doing this to people.
Claudine had seen him doing work across the road, and the alarm bells didn't ring when researching his company, Brisbane Fencing and Decking.
He's very charming, very lovely. He talks you through everything. I've been in the game for so long, talks you through, I will need an engineer, you'll need this. He's great with his words.
So she paid him the deposit for a new retaining wall. That was July last year.
And did he give you a time frame that he'd promised? Or?
Oh, yeah. Within 6 weeks it would be done.
It's still not done. He hasn't offered her any refund and he's uncontactable.
He's out there and we need to tell everybody this is him.
I was absolutely gobsmacked at the amount of people he's done it to, and obviously I saw on your story about the lady with cancer. The guy obviously has no conscience at all.
Wayne was another one who fell for Brendan's empty promises.
I'm happy that it's been exposed because it hopefully will stop other people from losing money. We actually had to draw the money out of my wife's super to do the fencing, and we had to draw even more out to get it finished. So we paid twice in effect for it.
Wayne saw his business on Facebook and paid him an $8,000 deposit for his retaining wall. Brendan dug holes in the ground and never came back. Wayne too can't get a hold of Brendan and hasn't seen a refund.
He's advertising down at Byron Bay for work under a different name. So people in Byron Bay and Nimbin, be aware of Brendan Hawkswell.
It's disgusting. It's deliberate. That's what their business model is, to rip people off.
Now, after complaints to the Office of Fair Trading, Queensland's Attorney General, Yvette Darth, is calling Brendan out.
Certainly not done lightly to put out a warning naming individuals, but when you start seeing a pattern of behaviour, when you start seeing a number of complaints, people are losing thousands of dollars and time again.
The community really needs this help, and it's so great that after so long we're being heard.
You know, they will keep reinventing themselves and keep changing names, and don't pay a huge deposit, don't pay money up front.
Brendan has tried rebranding to Queensland Fencing and Decking and has worked using the name Cartier Constructions. Now he's banned from contracting work as a business owner under Creative Construction Group.
Don't let him come and give you a quote. Hopefully people recognise his face.
This is him. Don't let him on site.
And we don't want to see consumers lose another cent.
Remember the dreams you had in your early 20s? Travel the world, maybe move out of home. None of this is possible for 24-year-old Fatima. She lives with a condition so rare she must always be close to a hospital. She hasn't given up hope that one day doctors will find the answers so she can realise her many dreams.
In my situation, I could be fine one day and the next day I could be in the worst situation ever.
What does it feel like when it ruptures?
If I'm not at the hospital, pretty much instantly after it starts, it can become very life-threatening.
Fatima Muhammad wants you to see more than her scars.
I thought that was it, like I lost my identity and I had to find a new way of accepting myself.
At just 24 years old, it's a battle she's been fighting for more than a decade.
I thought my life was over at 10 years old. I didn't think I'd survive it. That's how bad the first bleed was.
Fatima was diagnosed with an arteriovenous malformation, a tangle of veins and arteries, known also as an AVM, when she was in primary school, and teachers noticed the left side of her face had started to swell.
Mine's really rare. It's usually in the brain or in the spinal cord, but with mine it's actually in my left maxilla and my face leading into my eye. It's permanently from
For the past 14 years, Fatima has had to live with her AVM rupturing again and again, resulting in painful surgeries to stop the bleeding.
Only gives me like maybe 1 to 2, 3 months of relief, and then it will find new passages, new growth ways, form new blood vessels and rupture again.
So your AVM is always growing?
It's ever growing. It's like cutting the lawn and then the grass grows back. Cutting it again, it grows back.
During a rupture in
I was turning blue and they, sorry, I get a bit emotional talking about it, but they called my family and they pretty much told them, like, expect the worst. We don't know what's going to happen.
Then a 16-hour marathon surgery was done to save Fatima's life, removing part of her cheekbone and teeth, which left her with permanent scarring.
It feels like being in a nightmare that you can't wake up from. You know, it feels like you're living a bad dream.
Since then, it's been a constant battle to keep Fatima alive, one she's documented on social media. To date, she's had 82 surgeries.
I was 15 years old. I had no idea that I was going to look different for the rest of my life. This AVM is just out of control, and I am fighting so hard to find answers.
She says doctors have no answers and no cure. It means she can never be too far from a hospital, as everyone fears for her next bleed.
I feel like I'm in this constant circle where I can't get out of it, and it's scary and it's hard and it's the unknown, you know, so that's what really worries me. It's very tough. It's very hard.
Can't explain it.
But she's been supported every step of the way by her mum and siblings who never leave her side during hospital stays.
We thought maybe it would be something, she'll come out of, but it's taken this long and still ongoing at the moment.
Mum Kamrul is at breaking point. She says she hasn't slept well since Fatima's diagnosis.
And if she gives me a call at night and I panic, I see her phone call, I panic.
We won't stop until we find something for her.
And that's why Fatima is now speaking out about her battle in the hope of finding help and to show others with rare conditions they're not alone.
I still believe that no matter what I'm going through right now, to be brave and to stick through it, even though it's been 14 years, I know that there will be one day something that will change my life.
And she's got the support of Reverend Bill Cruz and his charitable foundation too.
You first met Fatima just at the end of last year. What first struck you about her?
How brave she is. But really what I'm doing is just supporting her, Just saying, go for it, girl, go for it, go for it. And she's really brave.
While their faiths may differ, it's their belief and hope that someone can help which brings them together.
Fatima, how big of a support has Bill been to you?
Oh, it's been life-changing. Honestly, when I was giving up hope in even having my story heard, Bill was the first person who picked it up and was genuine about it and said, no, we need to do something for you.
So many people, they're at home whinging, poor me, all of this sort of stuff. And you've got someone who doesn't.
And that's what Fatima will continue to try and do for as long as she has to, until a cure can be found.
No matter what you're going through in life, to always stay positive and to always be brave and to always see light at the end of the tunnel, because I believe that verily after every hardship there is ease.
Gee, what a beautiful, inspiring young woman. We're hoping there is someone, a doctor somewhere, who sees Fatima's story and can help in some way. Up next, we've heard your request, so here you go, an update on Molly the magpie. Is he coming home?
This little bird certainly has a very loud voice.
He's ruffled some feathers.
More ways to search. Download the Google app for iPhone.
Get more of what you're into with a subscription to the Sydney Morning Herald. It's all yours to discover with the Sydney Morning Herald.
At NIB, we're doing lots of things to get you more excited about health insurance, like delivering your prescriptions straight to your door. That makes us as exciting as an old cardigan. A sleeveless one.
NIB, as exciting as health insurance gets.
Universities matter because of what matters to us, like crops that survive droughts and medical research. For more ways universities benefit us all, visit universitiesmatter.edu.au.
Bill's really creeping up on you, huh?
Yeah.
Not with me. Save money on your favourite streaming apps with Hubble Stack and Save. The more you stack, the more you save.
Everybody's hubbling.
Try Hungry Jack's new range made with Kit Kat.
crunchy choc wafer pieces in a soft, creamy, chocolatey storm, and new barista iced drinks made with Kit Kat. Get iced coffee or iced chocolate made with Kit Kat only at Hungry Jack's.
Go all in for kids' health with Sydney Children's Hospitals Foundation.
Experience the global Irish music and dance sensation that has captivated audiences and taken the UK and US by storm. A Taste of Ireland returns on its world tour as performers from the West End Lord of the Dance star in this powerhouse event. Don't miss out.
At Domain Homes, we meet people like these two every day. Searching for a home with contemporary design at an affordable price. Domain Homes offers unbeatable value, so you really can have it all. So you can start doing more of this and plenty of this. Even this is fun. Find out how you can save 10% and price your new home today at domainhomes.com.au.
Protect your number one mate with Australia's number one, NexGuard Spectra. It's the most complete protection against fleas, ticks, mites, worms, and even heartworm, all in one tasty tube. NexGuard Spectra.
Tripadeal's biggest offer ever is back. Earn 10,000 bonus Qantas points when you book any deal 999 or more by the 15th of April. Head to tripadeal.com.au.
Bring Molly home. It's the campaign that's captivated the hearts of the nation and the world after a magpie was taken away from his best mate, Peggy the Staffy. Molly's family and hundreds of thousands of Aussies have been fighting for the bird's return. So have those calls been answered?
Was he back? To get that phone call, I nearly fell off the chair.
This is the unlikely friendship between a magpie called Molly and a staffy called Peggy that's captured worldwide attention. Molly was found on the ground at a Gold Coast dog park when he was a chick and taken in by Juliet and Reese. He was raised alongside their pet staffy Peggy, who produced milk to help keep the little bird alive.
Since then, they just bonded.
Their special friendship has captured fans around the world via social media, mesmerised by the magpie's famous bark. But that all changed last month when a government department removed the native bird from Reese and Juliet's care, even though he's free to come and go from their home as he pleases.
I had to make the toughest decision of my life, and I handed a wild bird to be in captivity.
The forced separation made global headlines and incensed thousands of A Current Affair viewers who've been desperate to see Molly return.
My name's Bruce. I fully support Juliet and Reese in trying to get Molly back home. I cannot see the reason for withholding her from her family.
I just wanted to send you this short message to let you know that myself and literally the rest of the world are standing beside you in your heartache.
Now there's been a breakthrough. Hello guys. How are you?
How are you going?
You got some news about Molly, I hear.
Yes, we actually had a phone call yesterday, so that's a huge progress in the whole saga.
The phone call was from Queensland's Environment Department, which has been attempting to rehabilitate the bird since he was surrendered to them.
Yeah, it was a good conversation. It was quite positive. We asked how Molly was. They said he was happy, healthy and in good spirits. We would like to see a photo or some sort of video evidence of how he actually is, because we know him quite well.
The change in approach from the department was sparked by these comments from Premier Stephen Miles following a Current Affairs story last week.
The Environment Department stands ready to train Molly's parents to be wildlife carers to get them that certification so Molly can be reunited with her family.
Reese already has a permit to rehabilitate birds like Molly, but not to keep them long term. The phone call from the department is the first step in that process, hopefully getting underway.
With the right amount of training and things, we should be able to get Molly back permanently.
They're very territorial, magpies, and ripping it away from its territory, and that's what they've done, is very stressful to this individual bird. They went.
Dr. Rob Zammit is a vet who says courses are available around Australia to get appropriate training.
Provided you've shown that you can look after the animal, which history has shown that these people can look after this bird, but they can then get a proper licence for a native animal.
The Premier reiterating his support again today.
Ultimately, it's a decision for those appropriate agencies, but what I've said is that if they can find a way to reunite Molly with her family, then I would welcome that.
The couple aren't the only ones hoping things are moving in the right direction. Their pet staffies, Peggy and Ruby, are keen to see their feathered friend home too.
They're constantly, checking the backyard, and every time they hear a bird call, they run, and you can see how disappointed they are that Molly's not here.
Department staff and other wildlife carers have received abuse and threats since Molly's case has been reported. Reese and Juliet are calling for calm and positivity from the Magpies' many fans. What would you say to all those people who have reached out to you, those well-wishers and supporters?
Oh, thank you very much. It's been fantastic. It's overwhelming.
Let's keep hope.
Yeah,
let's
keep hope.
And positive outcome.
Be positive, be positive, be kind, be nice.
They feel overwhelmed with all the attention garnered by one charismatic magpie.
This little bird certainly has a very loud voice.
He's ruffled some feathers.
He's sure done that. So keep the pressure on to bring Molly home. Coming up, a convicted murderer's bid for freedom, jailed for killing Janine.
Yeah, this Friday. Next Friday. Yeah. Sorry, my calling is too hard. What am I doing? Sorry, this is too stressful. Oh, I know what's going on.
Class Resort. This is my time at Palm Lake Resort.
Here he is, little Logan. You wouldn't guess he's had an earache an hour ago, would you? A quick trip to the doctor and a dose of children's Panadol. Now look at him. Watch out, Mum. Go Logan. Help them back to their awesome best with children's Panadol.
Make every bite count with flavour they'll love. Make every night Saturday night.
They sorted my electric car here, just in time for school pickup. Better go.
We got a tyre change here.
Dad forgot his tools.
They got my van back on the road with a new battery. Before, everything got a bit, melty.
The NRMA is Australia's largest roadside assistance network.
I locked my keys in the...
There you go.
Thanks.
Too easy.
We get you moving every time, no matter where you are. This is roadside assistance.
Join us for the Burton Automotive Hunter Valley Steam Fest. Enjoy the ARTC Great Train Race, kids activities at the Bloomfield Group Rally Ground, and classic cars at the Ultrapack Show and Shine on Sunday. Maitland Railway Station, April 13 and 14.
Lightning Ridge is the Black Opal's home, but the Lightning Ridge Bowling Club is where everyone calls home. Enjoy drinks in the lounge with a mate or two. We even have a bottle-o if you need a few. Enjoy the greens with your winning team. Get away. Enjoy the Lightning Ridge Bowling Club.
Well, girls and boys, it's been another very...
Rags or anything?